Okay, hello sports scientists. Now is the next chapter to be written by you, which is literature review, right? Okay, I'm sure throughout these few weeks you have review related journals to your proposed topic. That's very good. You are indirectly has doing the literature review, which is very good. Okay, I'm sure you search for the journals closely related, or you try to mimic what the authors did, and then you compare and contrast which questionnaire that you're going to utilize for your study. Very good. Okay, now chapter 2 is about you write out, you describe all the previous studies, what's the results, what's the discussion, what's the main findings, and then because with a literature review, okay, now you have read on the previous studies, now you write it. Okay, this is a writing skill, how to write literature review. Alright, you refer to the method that they have used, so that you can follow the standard flow of the study to get to the direction of you to answer the research objective. Right, that's the purpose of research review. So we go one by one. Actually, is to place the work of previous authors in the contribution to the understanding of the subject under review. Okay, I'm sure if you are writing about burnout, athletes burnout, you are mingle searching around with the athletes burnout, how it affects performance. Okay, that's how we do it, the understanding under the things that you want to review. And then it is to describe the relationship of work to the others under consideration. Of course, is to identify new ways to interpret and shed light on any gaps in previous research. Gaps can be anything. It can be like it's never been conducted among student athletes. It's never been conducted among Malaysian, for example. Okay, and the purpose of reviewing the literature. How many previous studies that you have read or skim? Paling-paling baca bahagian abstract pun baguslah, because you want to resolve conflicts among contradictory previous studies. Okay, if that thing happens, that's a very good, because it can be another reason for you to further to expand the similar studies from the previous authors. Okay, right, and yeah, point the way forward to further research, and then place one's original work in the context of existing literature. Okay, to justify your choice of research question, theoretical or conceptual framework, and a method. Okay, in designing or in writing your research objective or research question, it must be based on previous review. Okay, previous studies, not all in sudden, because why? We are quantitative research is following the deductive. Okay, from things yang sudah ada, we deduct it back. Okay, from the theory yang sudah ada, we try to explore further. We try to follow the path of the theory yang dah ada, macam tu. Okay, alright. Can read on your own, and then always up to date research. That's why if you look at my comment, I always highlight there. Please search for the updated one. 2010 is like 10 years. If the journals berumur 10 tahun, hampir bukan tidak bernilai, still bernilai, but I'm sure that you can find the similar studies conducted or very relevant or related up to 5 years. Okay, search for the update one. The more updated the findings or the journals, the more relevant it to be conducted further by you, right? And then yes, this is the first step. What are the steps to do the literature review? Identify the topic of interest. What's your interest? Dah tahu kan? Some of you are doing physical activity, burnout, leadership. Very good. That's the interest. Okay? Yang ni, I'm sure you have done it. You identify, define the topic. What's the issue? What's your concern? Kenapa? Why you to explore more? What's benefit of it if it is in sports setting? Second, consult secondary sources. Consulting secondary sources, meaning that you are trying to criticize apa trend dia, kenapa the supervisor yourself pun memang they will ask why, what's the trend nowadays. Some of you are doing physical activities, very good, because we are dealing with sedentary lifestyle, all I think many years are talking the same. Okay, that's the trend. Example, for instance sahaja. And the step 3, always determine your keywords. If you know what's your keywords, it's more easier for you to search for the relevant literature in the internet, in the Google, in the Scopus. Determine your keywords. What's your keywords? Okay, because keywords will help you to find out your review that you going to assist you to find the literature that very related to yours. For example, you are writing on a topic of drug abuse among student athletes. So the relevant keywords are based on your research question. Okay, for instance, your research question is, what is the perception of drug abuse among student athletes? So the keywords are drug abuse and athletes or student athletes. Okay, right. Try to mimic the one that I use the bracket to your keywords and put the N. Any is the another term. Drug abuse is one keyword. Second is an athletes ataupun or sometimes they refer athletes to student athletes in your term. Student athletes and athletes is similar. So please use this keyword. I'm sure you find them very relevant journals. And then if dalam database tu you put the range of 2015 to 2020, plenty of it, I'm sure. And from that way you can have a very relevant and updated studies that going to assist you in writing literature review, right? Yeah, now is your searching from that keywords. Dah tahu keywords saya search, review all resources yang berkaitan, and then if you cannot if you unsure of the keywords you're going to have, look at the abstract part. Bahagian abstract tu most all abstract dia akan sertakan dengan bahagian bawah tu tahu keywords. What are their keywords? Drug abuse, student athletes, university. That means keywords. If you put the keywords in the database search engine, it will lead you to find the studies or journals that you should read and you can write as the review, right? Find out what has been written. Banyak kan? And then keep the bibliography detail. Book or article simpan. Kalau boleh you print out it. So because you're going to have it read all over again. Kalau terjumpa lagi the bahagian reference tu, bagus, you are following the similar studies to your research. Okay, and then record the literature, take notes what you read, and then what it has to say about it, how they are doing it, how the writing, how it relates to you, and organize them to headings and subheadings. The last step, write the literature review. In writing literature review, I'm sure it's very hard for you because it is very subjective. There's no exact way how to do it, because in writing, it's about how you bring the readers from general to specific to your research issues or research objective. Okay, and it must have an introduction, chapter 1 and chapter 2, main content, body paragraph, and of course concluded by your summary. This is how the illustration of reviewing the literature, writing the literature, introduced in a very general way, the background of it. Remember your background of study, it is the surface part of your intended topic, and then try to narrow it down until it is more specific to your current research issue. If you have writing your background of study, and it's more very cetek lah, very simple, basic, introducing here and then. But in chapter 2, the introduction part in chapter 2, you are still at writing the surface. However, the detail of it, bring it to the content of body paragraph. Right? Main content tu kita dah dengar. And introduction is always the nature of topic. What does you include and exclude? you are talking about obesity, what you exclude? Obesity among siapa? Adult. Obesity among young adults, or physical activity among those who are very young. Macam tu lah. You cetek saja. Because it's basic things that we need to know. Body paragraph, remember we talk about heading and subheading tadi. Now you are go very detailed to things that closely related to what you intended to do. I give you an example. Dah cerita kan, you kenalkan, or I bring you again to the example of drug abuse. Drug abuse, what is drug abuse? Drug abuse worldwide is one of the practice yang ramai yang buat, and then some of it boleh masuk jail lah, apalah, and you bring it to the sport drug abuse in sports, macam tu. And then in body paragraph, if you read the relevant studies that related to sports drug abuse, you will see maybe they will talk about gender differences. Okay, drug abuse and gender. What they report in that, I assume there could be male and female practicing drug abuse similar. I give you example saja. Ataupun drug abuse and type of sports. Team sports less likely to practice drug abuse, macam tu. Drug abuse and type of sport, ataupun drug abuse and age of the athletes. Nampak tak? The body paragraph is more very detailed on what's the findings, what the discussion of previous study have done towards the subheadings begitu. If you're able to write in that way, meaning that you are doing the main content, and that from that main content macam tu tadi, it leading you to your research question hari tu. If you are comparing drug abuse perception among gender, because in the literature review you are reviewing what the other studies have discussed on that findings. Macam tu. Body paragraph related to your research question, hypothesis. Okay, I give you example again. Physical among between gender, physical activity between gender. It is reported worldwide female are more passive, physically inactive compared to male. Tu physical activity and gender. Physical activity and chronic disease. Banyak. That's a body paragraph that I can say. So make it current. Current research study maksudnya they're still talking about it. 2015 and above, I highly suggest you to read very updated research. In sports science, exercise science, health science, banyak yang still panas dekat kuali. If you jumpa 1998, hopefully they are still doing it in 2015, 2020. Bagus kalau jumpa. Okay, go for very updated one. Alright, and then they will have some discovery, argument on it. Okay, and in literature review it has summary. Summary maksudnya they summarize what's the main finding. Okay, alright. So go search for your relevant topics of journals, articles, and then if it is you are trying to have Malaysian university students, look for the local. I'm sure there's some researchers have been conducted among our university student athletes Malaysia, Southeast Asia, because when you are searching ataupun you reading study that in our culture ataupun in our masyarakat lah, of course it more senang nak relate. When you senang relate, you dapat fikir cara yang sama with that authors. Itu point dia. Okay, so all the best. Look for example, read, and then what you have done until today, reading, cari itu actually is literature review. Now it's your time for you to put it in writing form. Remember the taxonomy and table tu. Okay, it will lead you to write literature review actually, because you read what's the objective, and then you put the problem statement, and then you are extracting out the method. Bagi method penting, how they do it, what's the questionnaire they use, what's the findings, berapa ramai, the results, and this discussion part best lah hujung sekali tengok apa dia nak, apa jawapan dia. Okay, so all the best. Literature review, it is chapter 2. I want you to start writing it. Okay, thank you.